Hello and welcome to the final episode of There's a Warren there. So this is probably the final episode I'll ever do of this series unless they make another jetpack Warrun game, because obviously next is World War 2, so that's not going to have Warruns, I would like to think. But this episode, basically I'm going to go through DLC 3 and 4 of IW and show off Warruns which are interesting, might be helpful, and just are outright weird. So there's a couple of those, and also some weird quirks about the maps which I just added in because I thought they were funny, kind of, and interesting. Volume 1 was the base maps in the game, not all of them, because not all of them have good wall runs, but it was the base maps in the game. Volume 2 was DLC 1 and 2, and this is Volume 3 with DLC 3 and 4. I'm going to warn you now, this isn't going to be as helpful as the other ones due to the fact that they kind of tone down the wall runs, so it's not going to be as helpful, but it should hopefully be helpful in its own right. So we'll get started with the first map, which is Ember. This is a remake of Resistance from Modern Warfare 3, and the first war run is a really pointless one, which you literally can war run on a fence. It's not helpful in the slightest, but I thought it was kind of funny, and yeah, it's a thing. There's a few of those in the maps, not necessarily a fence, but kind of war running on a section outside of the map and that sort of thing. So yeah, I just thought it was interesting, and we'll get on to the next one. So the next war run is in the middle courtyard of the map, and this is a war run on the side of a bridge above an arch. This can be used to get the jump people who are running through the arch, and you get the jump people. Yet again, isn't that useful, but it's a thing, so yeah. And a lot of the maps, or a good few of the maps in these DLC packs, have really obvious wall runs, such as this one. This is just a flat wall. You can't wall run anywhere above the windows though, and of course you would think you can wall run the other side, but you can't. But you can wall run here for some reason, even though you'd think you'd just be pushed off, which there's a lot of inconsistencies with the wall runs in these maps, so yeah. The next one is another obvious one. There's there and there's there. They're really obvious wall runs. I don't know why I'm pointing them out, but you know, just in case. And yeah, they're just obvious. I'm just showing you obvious wall runs that I don't know why they're there. They don't help on the sides. This one kind of helps, but you get pushed off the wall, so yeah. The next one isn't the wall run, however, it is a thing where Modern Warfare 3 obviously didn't have jetpacks. This game you do, so you can literally use jetpack with this wall. It's useful because people won't expect you to do it, and they might not even see you doing it, so I think it's kind of helpful, and that's the wall run, but it's not really necessary, and not really that useful either, because you can just jetpack over it. The next map is 4, and this is from DLC 3 as well. You can wall run all the way around the outside, or inside I suppose, of this courtyard area. You can also wall run on the lollipops, which I'm probably going to show now. You can wall run on the lollipops, you can also wall run on the walls. Really obvious place, but people might not have got it. I literally only found out you could wall run on the lollipops yesterday. So yeah. The next one is still in 4, and it literally is running around on the walls all the way around the map. Basically, you can do this in a good few of the maps in Infinite Warfare, but this one's sort of one you can do it a bit better on. Obviously, you got the courtyard area, and I'm just showing this off again, but it's more or less the same thing. And you can wall run here as well. You can go from one side of the map to the other side of the map just wall running. It isn't that useful, and I said this at the beginning of the video, but you can do it. So if you're playing some custom game, you know, it could be fun. The next map is Permafrost. This doesn't have very useful wall runs, but this is another weird wall run. You can wall run on the outside of the map and you die, so it's not useful in the slightest. But yeah, that's the thing. This is also not a wall run, but it's sort of like a quirk with the map. The ice on the outside of the map reflects whatever you're holding in your hands. They do this in Infinite Warfare and Call of Duty games. They just reflect your perspective. I mean, you know, it's a thing, so it's not useful, but yeah, there you go. The next one kind of is useful. It's pretty obvious as well, but some people might have missed it. You can wall run there. It's useful because you don't have to go through the building, and some people camp in the building and might bomb trap you. You also can't wall run on the outside of that building, you'll die. You would think you can, but you can't. So that's the thing. The next map is Bermuda. This is the final map in DLC 3, and you can wall run here, which it's literally just the outside of that building. It's kind of useful. The first one is kind of useful. That one isn't too useful unless you're chasing someone around, or someone's chasing you around that circular tank thing. These ones are completely useless, but the tank one and the beginning one kind of are useful because you get to jump people. The next one is on a beach on the left hand side of Bermuda, going from where the last clip was. This is useful because you can wall run around the outside of this cylindrical thing, and you can get to jump people who are inside the building. Perhaps they might be camping in there, looking outside of the door, and you might be killed if you just go on the bridge, so this allows you to just completely negate their vision. And you can also war run above that arch, which is similar to the Ember war run. The next map is the first map in DLC 4, and I believe it is called Altitude. This map is a combination of Genesis and Turista, it would appear, and this wall run is sort of similar to some stuff in Genesis where you can just wall run on these sort of smooth curved walls. It's pretty obvious. It's also kind of useful because it blocks off a line of sight. However, practical use in a game kind of just it's a bit quicker than running, and it's kind of obvious. Next one is also just a flat wall. This is good for getting to jump people who are running underneath there, which yet again similar to the other two wall runs that I've showed off, which are similar to those. You can wall run on that wall, I believe, and I just didn't show it, but this one is more useful for getting up to that window than I just got through, that I just came through, so yeah, that's kind of useful. Next map is Carnage. This got a 24/7 playlist currently, I believe. This wall run's really obvious. There's only two wall runs in this map, and they're really obvious, and there's no point in me even showing them, but I'm going to show them anyway in case people don't really pay much attention. This one is on the outside of the dam, which is the opposite side of the map from the past wall run. This isn't that useful. If anything, it exposes you more. However, people aren't paying much attention. You can just see people who are above, going down that lane. So if you're using a sniper, if you're using an AR or something, you could pick them off whilst wall running if they're not that observant. So it's kind of useful. It's more useful than some of the other ones I've shown. The next map is Deepu 22, and this isn't the wall run, but I didn't realise this was a thing. You can jump out of your spawn onto that building, and this is a thing which in Infinite Warfare there's usually invisible barriers everywhere, which stop you from being able to do this sort of thing. But you can just jump straight over that building and, pick people off who are in those windows and that sort of thing, because they wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't have expected it at least. Some people may also camp down there, which, in a corner or something, and you can get the jump on them. I definitely got killed by being down there. This is also quite a good wall run. This is the train that comes through the map, or along the outside of the map. This was in the promo material, I believe, but some people might not watch advertisements and stuff. So yeah, you can just wall run that train, and you can wall run on it whilst it's moving. I just didn't show it because I'm weird. But yeah, you can just wall run on that train, and it's pretty useful. If there's a trip mine, or maybe people are not that observant yet again, it's useful. Also, this is not a wall run, but I thought this was interesting. This is the on top of the map, Deepu 22. For games such as Call of Duty, they have to get a picture for the sky, and instead of just cutting the image off at halfway, they tend to just leave the entire photo in the map. There was a glitch actually in the jungle map from Advanced Warfare, which you saw this identical thing, but it was not the same image. I just can't remember the name of the map. But yeah, it's a panoramic image of like a pier from a beach or something, which is interesting. It's not a wall run, so yeah. But I thought it was kind of interesting, and I really should make a video of separate things, but IW's nearly finished its life cycle, so there's no point. So the next map is Heartland, which is a remake of Warhawk from Ghosts, and I'm probably going to call it Warhawk throughout the rest of this video because I can't get used to the name Heartland. So this was a bits on the ground map initially, and you can just jump up onto these ledges. This is an especially useful one because people would camp in that window in Ghosts, so you can just jump up and kill them, like from the platform outside the window, and obviously you can just jump into that window as well, which is also a popular camping spot. You can also do it in the other place where people would camp with their thermal LMGs in Ghost, which is in the opposite end of the map, which you can do the exact same thing, and it's pretty useful because people still do camp there for some reason. But yeah, it's a good counter, and it is very good, and it plays very well actually in Advanced Movement. The next one is a pretty obvious wall run. However, you can wall run straight through that ledge, and I don't know why, but you can, and it's kind of useful because you can just wall run and get to jump people. That means I'm also just completely feeling of wall running. I'm just showing you that you can jump through that, and it's basically as though it's not there. So you can wall run there, get to jump people who are maybe in the courtyard back there, which is right here, and you can also wall run this wall. It isn't useful from that direction, but from this direction you might be able to get to jump people who come around this corner. You can also chain your wall runs together, which is what the wall runs I've just shown you, and basically wall run around the entire map. This is one of the few maps in Infinite Warfare where you actually can do this, and I don't know why it's a bits in the ground map initially that you can do it on, but it's a thing. And the last clip of the video is not a wall run, but it's showing you the ARX 160 without a grenade launcher, because the grenade launcher version is the OSA. I find this interesting. You probably don't, maybe you do, and that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. This was a bit of a different style from the past volumes, because the past volumes I would write a script and then I would record the script without watching the video. However, this time I was watching the video and didn't have a script, so I hope it was useful. Obviously the Warrants aren't as useful in this volume, however I did add some filler content which is kind of interesting stuff. I didn't do it to stretch out the video, but I did it just because I thought it was kind of interesting stuff that some people might appreciate. I would also make a separate video if that sort of thing, however Infinite Warfare is nearly out of its life cycle, and I'm probably not going to make as many videos on IW next year. However, I probably will make some of them. This video, I do understand, is also going up late. This is going up on Wednesday, I believe. I'm also recording this on Wednesday and editing it on Wednesday because I didn't have my computer on Sunday and I just didn't have any time on Monday or Tuesday to do it. So the schedule for the videos coming up for the next week or two is this weekend, this Sunday, is going to be a review of Infinite Warfare, like a year in review type thing. It's going to be all my opinion, it isn't going to be any fact or anything, it's just going to be how I experienced the game and things I think were good about the game and maybe bad about the game as well. The next weekend will be maybe a live stream or something about World.3, because that's when I come back and be on holiday. And next week I will probably upload another episode of the World.2 All-Nighter Slog. I think I do have 2 more episodes worth of that, so we'll see how that goes. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, maybe even subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.